Austin, can you talk about your individual level of excitement as you're moving on now?
Yeah, I mean my first playoffs. Thank God we got out of that first play-in game with a win, so we don't have to turn around and play tonight. But yeah, I mean this is what you dream of when you come to the NBA, play in the playoffs, and compete every night at the highest level.
Do you see any shift from LeBron? Sorry, Jim. Do you see any shift from LeBron at all in the way he carried himself yesterday, or anything like that? Did you pick up on any sort of energy from him? Considering that it's now the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, he always, from what I've heard from like talking to Phil, he always locks in, just a little bit more. I mean, obviously he's always locked in, but it was just like even statistical stuff we were talking through yesterday as a group. So yeah, I mean, he's one of the best pros when it comes to being ready for every game.
Statistical stuff like he's pointing out Memphis tendencies, you mean,
Either stuff like that,
yeah.
but more so just even our stuff, like what we do well, and what we need to try to do when we go there.
Possibly two things. One, how good were these 2 days off in terms of just getting a physical reset for, you've been battling some stuff, obviously everybody is after 82.
Yeah, I mean it's major. Like I said, it was the win the other night was very important to get these couple days not off, but kind of uh, take a deep breath. We got in. The last month and a half, 2 months. Every game was very crucial. So it was like a mental war. You had to attack every game as a must win, and obviously now it's the same, but. Last couple of days have been really nice. We've got together as a team last couple of days, and really locked in and studied on the film.
And then your first taste, I guess, of postseason basketball was Tuesday. People, you guys have done such a good job getting in the line. You've done such a good job getting in the line. Are you expecting that to be different in the playoffs as sort of reputationally games tend to be more physical? I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm just kind of
no,
curious
I
what
mean,
sort of your thoughts are about that.
Yeah, I figured. I mean, it's going to be a little bit more physical brand of basketball, and then obviously Memphis, with the way they play, they're also a super physical team. So I think that's just going to be the nature of the series. It's going to be kind of the same as what it was the other night. So you just approach the game with that mentality, and nothing really changes. It's still basketball.
Whether you guys are switching or trying to go on top of the pick or behind the pick, biggest challenge dealing with Jaw, trying to keep him out of the paint?
John's just a really good player, obviously, as we've seen the last, 3 years or so. So there's different variations we can do, and different coverages we can try. But, at the end of the day, he's, a really good player, and, he's going to, ultimately get his. We just got to limit it and make it hard for him in whatever way we can. And it's really just about us locking in and playing as hard as we can.
How important is transition defense going to be in this series?
No, major. I mean, they get out and run. First unit, they love to get to the rim. And the second unit, they shoot a lot of threes. But, anytime you got Jaw on the court with his explosiveness and his athletic ability, he can get from one end to the other really quick. So, it's just get back, load up, and,
How are your guys feeling after a couple days of rest?
Feeling great, man. The energy has been great. We put in the game plan yesterday. Just had a really good long film session. Got on the court, walked through some stuff. But that was about it. And then today, coming out, getting active, moving around a little bit, getting a sweat, again, covering some of the things through breakdowns and whatnot. And we feel good. We'll get back on the floor tomorrow and just get ready to go tee it up on Sunday.
Did you guys have everybody available today? Or did
Yes.
Hold on.
Except for Dennis. So we held Dennis out.
With the foot, with the ankle?
Just, precautionary, just to give him, a chance to get it treated and not get any extra pounding.
Why did you guys decide to leave today?
Just to get there early, man. It's an early game Sunday, 2 o'clock, which is noon our time here West Coast, and with the time difference, just trying to get in there while it's still daylight. And, everybody, we didn't have all these specialists when I played, so we nutrition, sleep habits, all of that goes into your performance now. So
You guys would have
it's
landed,
cool.
what, at like 6 p.m. Saturday night your time?
No, we probably would have landed at 10 o'clock in the morning on game day.
Coach, can you talk a little bit about the craziness of this new playoff format?
I mean, I think it's great for the fans, and it puts a lot of pressure on you to come out and perform. And as you saw, our game was hotly contested. You look at Chicago, Toronto, a lot of the games, Oklahoma City, New Orleans, it's awesome for the fans. But you just got to go out and take care of your business. I'm happy, being a fan first, all the way back to 79, 80. I think it's something new, obviously, but it brings a little bit of an NCAA tournament feel. And, some teams are in that position where you got to win or go home, and it makes for an exciting ball game. So I think overall, if it's good for the fans, it's good for the league, obviously.
If you could
Memphis is 22nd in half-court scoring and third in transition scoring. How important is your transition defense going to be?
It's huge, man, because Ja gets a lot of that attention, but it's all of them. They got multiple guys that can start the break with a couple, 3 dribbles, and some of the guys can take it all away. But transition defense is going to be a huge key, defensively, in us trying to, get past this team.
You had that game in Memphis shortly after LeBron hurt his foot, where I think Ja had 27 points in the third quarter.
Yeah.
How much can you glean from that in your film study? And what's the biggest messages that you're telling your team to be able to compete with them?
Man, just to, just make Ja see bodies, without giving up too much. Just try to, that's any NBA game for that matter. And now with the stakes being even higher, and what he likes to do is live in the paint, attacking downhill repeatedly, constantly with force. We're going to have our hands full. Our job has to be to not let them get inside of our defense, continuously. So that's a huge part of it. Transition D, and then again, being great on the ball and having guys shifted behind the individual defender that's guarding the ball.
You guys do
It'll be a lot of people.
You guys have had a lot of success being in the line. I'm sure that's been a big part of what you guys do. I would suspect in the playoffs you'd expect the physicality to go up. You've been through that as a player. Have you talked to your team about that at all, and how are you guys going to mitigate?
I mean, I've talked to
maybe getting 3 or 4 fewer points per game.
It's we used to have this saying in Milwaukee, don't ask, don't beg, don't expect anything from officiating. And they have a job to do, and we have to do our jobs in spite of what we may disagree with, whether a whistle is blown or not blown. We have a job to do, so that's been my message to my team the entire season. And also on the flip side of that, the message has also been to not settle, to try to win the free throw line. So I think the duality in those messages, they fit hand in hand, because now it's like the onus is on us to go make the play. And if we're soft or we're trying to get a bailout or whatever, then that in turn affects our defense, because we're complaining instead of sprinting and participating on the other end. So the referees, we get emotional. It's an emotional game. We're passionate about, what's happening out there. But at the end of the day, you just got to go play basketball. You got to play with force. And usually the team that's playing the hardest usually gets a favorable whistle.
Have you added any wrinkles to what you guys are doing because of the playoffs now, or are you guys pretty much staying packed?
Yeah, we added a couple things, BT.
Such as?
Such as things that I'm not going to tell you.
And how did they receive those good things?
It's great. It's great, man. We have full participation, full compliance. It's beautiful. Our captains are very vocal, helping the young guys out. Everybody is just, if it's something that's not right, we're not just glossing over it. We're stopping the action like we did today in practice, stopping the film, make sure we all understand what we're trying to do and what being on the same page is, and trying to achieve that. So it's been great, man. The dialogue, player to player, coach to coach, coach to player, player to coach. It's been unbelievable, as it should be for this time of the year.
Devin, I know the postseason isn't the first rodeo for you.
Right.
Obviously, you've been there as a player and as an assistant, but now in that head chair, has anything changed for you? Do you reach out to anyone?
Not really, man. I was with one of the best, side by side, one of the best, and Mike Budenholzer, and watching him, seeing how he handled a lot of things, was firsthand lesson for me. And I think the biggest thing is, my demeanor, my body language. It's not going to change. It's going to be what it's been all year. I don't get too high, I don't get too low. Just coaching my team as passionately as possible and going out there and make sure we compete and we're together and live with the results. And so, I don't see much changing for me.